3, 2, Schwan. We're back. Woo! Welcome to the bridge, everybody. This is the second recording today. I think it'll be like episode 21, probably. I think. Perhaps. We just got a shit ton of Q stuff to go over, like a lot. After a period of no posts, no word really, apart from what you would hear on YouTube, because even though YouTube is just as corrupt as all the other news places and corporations and websites, it is still one of the only places, not one of the only places, but you know, a decent place to get some truth, because they will still give you that, because the AI still acknowledges that we want truth of some kind, even though we are living amid an age of absolute brainwashing. And to that, let's rip a B. Alrighty. So, what do we got next? So February 11th at 11:22. You will never be alone. We are united. Godspeed, Patriot. Where we go one, we go all. There's a neat little picture that was posted before that, and so you can't bring certain T-shirts into these rallies because they don't, because some people, because the infiltration is everywhere. This is what the war is. This is what World War III is. It's all information, symbolism, and there's infiltration, and there's secure cells, as long as you keep up to date with them. But you're not allowed to bring certain T-shirts into rallies because they don't want you to appear on camera with certain things. And sometimes I can totally get that. Like, you wouldn't want someone putting up a bunch of like racist, like legitimately racist, not fucking trigger word racist, but like, you know, really unnecessary derogatory comments and shit. But this woman was very smart. She is a QAnon, or an anon, like we all are. At least if you're watching this, I hope. And she knew she couldn't put on the T-shirt, so she made the QAnon like cloth, and then folded it up, put it in her pocket, and then when came around and Trump was you know, hanging out with all his fans and shit, she brought it out and put it on her chest like it was a T-shirt. So that's cool as fuck. So now we got some more inspiration in the air. I'm down to clown. Did they get the clip? Yes, Mr. President. Did they catch all the references? Yes, Mr. President. Show me. Thank you, John Vineyard. Thank you, Anons. Return publicly. Shit is awesome. We're getting so close to seeing some fucking undeniable stuff. People will still be able to say, "Oh, it didn't happen," or they'll find a way to discount information because they're brainwashed. But if you're smart, you know. You know, it's Darwin's theory of natural selection. The ones that are easily susceptible to brainwash and can't break from it at all are the ones that won't survive. The stronger ones will. Here's something cool. Shall we play a game? Where are they now? Reference to public optics, retired left refers to fired and forced. Federal Bureau of Investigation, James Comey, Director, fired. Andrew McCabe, Deputy Director, fired. Jim Rebicki, Chief of Staff and Senior Counselor, fired. James Baker, General Counsel, fired. Bill Priestap, Director of Counterintelligence, Sturzock, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, his boss, fired. Peter Sturzock, Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence, fired. Lisa Page, Office of General Counsel, fired. Mike Corton, Assistant Director for Public Affairs, fired. Josh Campbell, Special Assistant to Comey, fired. Michael Steinbeck, Head of National Division, fired. John Glascone, but I don't know. He was predecessor to Steinbeck, Head of National Security Division, fired. James Turgle, Assistant Director, fired. Greg Brower, Top Congressional Liaison, was also fired. Tricia Anderson, Principal Deputy Director Counsel, was fired. Randy Coleman, Assistant Director of Counterintelligence Division, was removed. Coleman authored number 1, the Anthony there's I guess a paper on Anthony Weiner or Weiner. Weiner sounds funnier. Something else that was in brackets unrelated, more about Wiener or Weiner, which was ironically sexually explicit. 9 of 26 federal SWI phone iPad. Wait, what? Oh, all the legitimate proof and evidence which was found on Hillary Clinton and the Foundation's crimes against children. What have I been fucking saying? And and I can show this to people and they'll be like, oh, I don't know about that. She skinned a child's face off. Okay? So there's that. So we got it's saying Kevin Kleinsmith, track and follow. Trisha, I'm not going to pronounce her name, track and follow. Sally Moyer, track and follow. Jason V. Hearing, track and follow. Nothing being done. Fake news. Q. Yes, you're right, it is fake news. All of it. That's why we don't know about this. That's why some people I know still support monsters so blindly, is because they just don't know. They just don't know. You can't imagine evil if you don't know about it, you know? And Q says they have zero control now. The head has been cut off the snake, which means that on your end, if you are to cut the head off the snake on your end for the brainwashing and whatnot, the key is to feel good about yourself and to think limitlessly. And I can say that, and most people are like, okay, yeah, cool. But that, like, you really need to know what I'm talking about here when I say that. Thinking without limitation is so hard. We're brought up to be humble to the point of ignorant. Yeah, so all these people have been removed. They have no control now. What does a dog do when he or she has a bone? They are the news. You are the news now. I am the news now. You are the news now. People like Owen Benjamin are the news now. Secure Team. Even if you don't agree with them and you have your own shit, like whatever, like go to the news that resonates with you. And to some people that means, oh, I'll just keep watching Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel, and it's like, it's great. But look at the content. Even if you're laughing, what's the message? Is the message hate this person? Is the message don't look at this? How much humiliation is involved in the programming of the TV show, right? How much is just mindless? Like, really think about it. Like look at stuff that you read that you consider mind-provoking and compare that to Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, fucking Conan O'Brien, all those guys, all of them. Fuck, almost dropped the B there. Anyway, on February 12th, 11:34 Eastern Standard Time, POTUS, this can never be allowed to happen again in our country or to another president. How do you deter and prevent this from happening again? Simply by terminating employment of those responsible? Question mark? Simply by conducting a few non-threatening investigations, or by prosecuting those responsible to the fullest extent of the law? Setting up new checks and balances and oversight designed to increase transparency, provide OIG officials with funding and seize authority, provide select committees with access and in-house viewing of non-national security class material. It's so weird because I read this thinking it's just going to be a sentence, but there's always a question mark, and you'd think I'd learn, but I haven't yet. Established financial checks, reviews of those in senior critical positions, direct family, close proximity. Transparency and prosecution is the only way forward to save our republic and safeguard such criminal, treasonous acts from occurring again. While some want to quietly remove those responsible and go about our business, save face on the world stage, those in control understand this band-aid will simply not work. No one should be above the law, no matter how massive the spider web is entangled. This will never happen again. Truth works. Facts matter. So two things I want to bring up there is the reference to the massive spider web, which has entangled in everything. And I told this to my friend Reese recently, but I don't think they were fully thinking about what I was talking about. I was saying how these assholes, these vampires, have their tentacles rooted in literally every aspect of your life, which is why I'm talking about brainwashing so much. Because the only way they can do this is if they make you want them to have it done to fucking... The only way it can work is if you give them permission. If they have to make you want them to fuck you. And that's why you don't know that they're doing it, because if they just explicitly did it, you would say fuck no. They have to worm it into your everyday life until you gradually accept it. Which is why we need to get out of this state. But that's the nature of light versus darkness. And I realized this after years, is darkness is always like periodic, and light is the natural state of everything. Because to exist is to be of energy, which is light. And light always comes through, and once it comes through a little bit, it can't really stop. It's just like a stream that breaks, that eventually erodes and destroys a dam. Pardon me. And that is it. That is all she wrote. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Gonna close out slowly with a